Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to Alan Wake. Now, I will be honest, this is the second time I've sat down to play this game, and I enjoyed it the first time, but sitting here, there's an element of apprehension, an element of dread about going back in, and this is a pretty tame game by all accounts. I've fiddled with a couple of things in the interim, so it looks like it was the video card drivers that were being problematic, so hopefully we won't get any more crashes, for want of a better phrase. I've slightly changed the music and effects volumes, because I think that was a little bit loud in places. And I have also done another thing. Oh yeah, I've subtitled it all, so if any of you are watching this and you don't necessarily want the volume up particularly loud, you just want to read the subtitles of what's happening in the game, you can do that too. That's fine. That's entirely up to you. Now, the last time we left this game, I believe we were at this kind of logging place. God, that was lame. There were obviously a couple of axe-wielding maniacs, or was it one axe-wielding maniac? I really do forget. And I think that was a checkpoint. I really hope it was a checkpoint, otherwise this is going to be perhaps a slightly frantic playthrough. So yeah, we'll just see where it is the game plonks us in, and hopefully it will go well, with any luck. Anyway, in for a penny, in for a pound. Screw it. Yes, let's go. Oh god.
The bulldozer had gone over the cliff with the office. I hoped Stucky had suffered the same fate, but I wasn't planning on staying to find out.
Oh, it looks like the checkpoint was actually here. Fractionally earlier than, I would have liked. But whatever, we'll run with it. Ow. Piss. That wasn't the best start.
Concussion. I'd never fired a gun outside the shooting range, and now I just killed someone. Or something. There were no bodies. They just disappeared. If I was dreaming, it felt real enough to make me sick.
There's an arrow pointing to my left, if you remember, so I'll go to my left. So what I was trying to do there was actually use the torch just gradually to wear away their darkness, without overcharging it.
The dark forest was the last place I wanted to go, but I had no choice. I had to get to the gas station.
Okay, so that's gone out, hurrah. But you'll notice there's stuff lighting up with my torch. So if I follow this round, I should collect something. Someone's left nice little helpful tips around, which in and of itself is a little bit creepy, if I'm honest. Flare gun. Sweet.
Eerie hand-painted graffiti was revealed by my flashlight. Someone had hidden a chest of supplies near it.
Now, I don't actually know what the flare gun does, because, as I mentioned in the last game, in the last playthrough, I was a muppet and didn't test it in the tutorial. But Loki had an idea that perhaps it sets up kind of a temporary safe spot, a source of light. So I have to go into the sodding forest, which is not what I want to do. Whatever. What? You're not supposed to be able to throw things? Fuck you. it's rabbit season. So I probably have to go down there. But I'm going to explore a bit first. Manuscript page. Rose. So there's lots of missing pages here. Rose daydreams about me.
Rose knew she had been gushing, but right now she didn't care. As far as she was concerned, her brief meeting with Alan Wake was literally the high point of her life. She watched as he got in the car with his wife. She was pretty, confident, at ease with Wake. Not like Rose. They were perfect for each other. She'd have given anything to be called their friend.
Why do I get the feeling that she's going to come back to haunt me in a big way, and it's going to make me sad? Alright. Anything else here that might be of use or interest? Is that a spangly thing? No, it's the electric power cable that's been cut. So yeah, it looks like some of the enemies are going to start throwing things, which is terribly unfair. Also looks like I can't go that way because fallen logs, trees. And if I'm careful with this torch, then I can wear away their darkness gumph without having to overcharge the torch, which will be nice. And hopefully there'll be plenty of revolver ammo lying around. Speak of the devil. And pick up batteries as well. Hurrah! That was nice. So I find it a little bit odd that someone is leaving random crap around for Alan to pick up, kind of supplies if you will. So I'm wondering if this is not actually the real world per se, or if Alan's just having a bit of a mental breakdown and this is all still inside his head, much like the opening dream sequence. I mean, this entire chapter is called Nightmare. That's going to trigger something when I go down there, so let's just have a quick look around. So you directly control the flashlight rather than Alan himself, if that makes sense. There's another dark bird.
What the hell was that?
No idea. More ravens or crows or whatever the smeg they are. I'm not a botanist, a biologist even. An irritating bird of foreboding and malice. Let's go with that. Carrion bird. So I still have to reach the gas station. And of course it couldn't be the middle of the day. It has to be at night. So this is going to take place over the course of one night.
When I saw the river below, something uncoiled itself inside my head. I realized that I'd have to find a way across. I didn't even want to look at the water.
Does that mean that he's going to be a hydrophobe? Or does that mean there's some shit in the water? Is it basically going to mean that if I fall in the water I die because he's a pelican can't swim? Ugh. Huh. We had another little bit of derpery there, guys. I do apologise for that. I'll see if it persists. And if it does, I'll try and do something about it. Of course, because the camera isn't actually centered behind him, walking across that log in a sort of straight line is actually remarkably non-trivial. But it seems if the rest of the game... Oh, thermos flask. So these are collectibles. This doesn't give me anything per se. It's just achievements to unlock, basically, for collecting them. So just imagine him with, like, 100 thermos flasks hanging off of himself. So far the game has been quite linear in as far as the places you go to is basically just following a path, and there are some tracks off the beaten path that lead you to hidden stuff. So we'll see if the rest of the game's going to be like that. That's not in and of itself a problem. I mean, the game is much more about atmosphere than it is about you not knowing where you're going. At least it is so far.
Stucky was still out there, in the dark, stalking me.
Oh, shit. That looks like a chest with some stuff in it. Maybe? Yeah. Oh, it's a manuscript page. Okay. So I've got a bunch of missing pages in here that it looks like I haven't picked up. So I might at some point worry about them, but to start with I'm just going to try and do a playthrough of this game basically.
Barry Wheeler was bouncing off the walls. He jumped on a plane after his calls were ignored by both Al and Alice for several days. It could mean that they were both on a second honeymoon, but Barry didn't buy it. Al had been way too unstable for that, not sleeping, messed up. Barry had years of experience dealing with Alan Wake, and he couldn't ignore it. Something was wrong.
Huh. We're basically going to be playing out the plot of this book, aren't we? Oh, I've already said that. But, so Barry is Alan's agent. Barry Wheeler was bouncing off the walls. He jumped on a plane after his calls were ignored by both Al and Alice for several days. So he's tried ringing us, because we don't know how long we were unconscious in that car for. It could mean that they were both on a second honeymoon, but Barry didn't buy it. Al had been way too unstable for that, not sleeping, messed up. Yeah, everyone seems to be hinting that Alan's not really quite right in the head, so I'm wondering if you're playing out reality, but if all the, you know, the psychotic axe-wielding maniacs and all that gumph is in Alan's head, but he is actually shooting them, so he's basically going around murdering everyone he comes across. Possibly including his wife. This is currently my running theory about what's happening. So I think the main character, being played by me, is a mass murdering psychopath because he's an insomniac and hasn't managed to publish a book in a couple of years. I'm still working on the reason behind it. But maybe he's just a bit unstable initially, who knows? And so I shouldn't be scared of the axe-wielding maniacs, the axe-wielding maniacs should be scared of me. Yeah, I don't buy it either. Okay, so, but no, I think that's my running theory. I mean, I don't think it's going to stop me being afraid of the guy who's currently stalking me. You know, stalking's never nice, especially when they appear to want to embed an axe into your face, which is not very nice. And I've now become paranoid of the water, so I'm trying to make sure Alan, in his retardedness, doesn't fall off these sodding logs that are conveniently placed. Don't fall off. We know what happens when you fall off things in this game. So there's some light over there, but that does not necessarily mean amazing levels of safety. This is a completely different feel to another game I was playing a little while ago, Space Marine, where you're a 9-foot-tall, genetically engineered super soldier clad in a tank, basically. God bless power armor. Batteries, revolver ammo, and you just wade into your enemies with a freaking chainsaw or a power axe, grenade launchers and everything, and you murder them in the face. Your enemies generally don't really scare you that much. Murderate them. This is rather different. This is less friendly. Okay. But I'm not as pent up as I was towards the end of the gaming session of this that I had yesterday, as it actually was, which formed the first 2 videos that I put out. Checkpoint reached. That's good and bad. Ow! You... Right. Have you noticed that whenever you you're basically just shining a torch at these guys, making the darkness go away, blinding them in the process, and then shooting them when they're normal, but this voice that from the beginning of the game tells you despite the fact they look normal, they're still bad, you still have to kill them. So I really do think that a lot of this is probably in his head, and he's just a little bit of a whack job. I'm just a little bit of a whack job. Hey, let's go back to using the first person. I am playing this guy after all. So. Caution, proceed at your own risk. Logging area ahead. It's not the logs that bother me. Another checkpoint. So it's probably... Loki is still here, and Loki is currently singing the Lumberjack song. So... I've noticed there are quite a lot of checkpoints. That's probably because I'm playing this on Wussy Wussy Easy mode rather than proper mode. And if you played it on, I can't remember what it's called, Nightmare or something, the equivalent of Dante Must Die, there will probably be rather fewer checkpoints, and the guys might take more than a couple of pistol shots to put down. There's markings on that. I swear I've seen those sort of dot markings before, but I don't know what they mean. Ooh, there's an arrow pointing to my left. So I guess that means I can now go up here.
Taken. They're taken.
The taken are filled with darkness. Or maybe I'm being paranoid. Maybe this is all just... Okay, so I'll go this way. Maybe this is all just a nightmare still. It's not him being a nutjob. What's that freaking symbol again? Looks like a flame brand, or you know, a torch. Fiery torch. Whew, well, I have more charges for my torch. I'm British, it's not a flashlight, it's a friggin' torch. Because otherwise you have questions like, who would go around painting on rocks in a light that in a paint that only shows up when you shine a torch on it? And why is it that some of the markings that show up look more like splatters of something than anything coherent? Giving one the impression that rather than this being a regular white light torch, it's more a dark light torch, i.e. UV showing up blood splatters or something. I don't know. That's just how it feels to me. Anything over here? Probably not. I've probably got what the game is willing to give me here. I do like the torch effects though, and the fact that you actually control the torch in his hand and that Alan just follows, if that makes any sense. You're not controlling his head or his eye movement. And of course, because it's not pitch black, even if the torch weren't on, it's just sort of this really... It's like full moon, so it's this sort of half light. It means that you end up jumping at friggin' shadows all over the shop. Okay, yeah, so this was just the... Okay, so it appears we're still occasionally getting that, which is kind of irritating. I'll try and record this video and get to somewhere. Okay, I'm going to call this video Ah, damn, I need to get to a checkpoint, really. If this keeps persisting, I'm going to have to call this video and then just try and get to a checkpoint and see what I can do about this. It's irritating that it's happening again. So I'm going to get to the next checkpoint, and then that's probably long enough to form a video, or at the very least I'll stitch it together with something else. What does that say? I can't go through there.
The staircase was broken. I had to make my way up
It's that
some
bloody
other way.
staircase again. This is from his nightmare. More batteries. Oh, my ammo limit is actually reached. Okay, I know I said easy, but I can't actually carry any more revolver ammo. And I have so many battery charges. I was trying to conserve them, but I've got loads of them.
There was no power. There was bound to be a generator somewhere at the logging
Find a
site.
generator. Oops. That looks promising. It also looks like I'm going to get ambushed by an axe-wielding maniac. I know how this shit goes. You realise I'm going to be really freaked out now if there is no axe-wielding maniac. Yeah, I'm gonna... There we go. So the next time it says checkpoint, I will give this a rest and see what I can
With
do.
all this forestry equipment around, there had to be something I could use to reach the top.
Ooh, jolly good. That looks like a safe haven. Checkpoint reached. Okay. I'm going to stop the video there and I'm going to go and check some of my software and hardware, and then hopefully we'll come back to it.